to discuss, in this particular part, how I am going to do the assessment into the class, like how I'm going to taking care of the risk analysis. Okay, now try to understand in that particular prospect. Now focus here, very important. Now this is a very important slide. Whatever the risk I'm going to take in care of, right? Whatever the risk I think for my particular project, so that I have listed down. Next, we already seen the probability of occurrence and the probability of the impact of the same. So I'm just going to write down the number. It may be like, for example, just take a case of the first element. So land acquisition risk, right? And commencing the project work due to the land acquisition. Now, in this particular project, now tell me, what is the probability of occurrence of this land acquisition risk? I will show you the thing here. Just a bit. Give me the rating here in the occurrence. What is the probability of occurrence in the land acquisition for this particular project? It is like occurrence will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like it is very rare, moderate, frequent, very frequent. What is the probability? You can put into the chat. Rare. Okay. Anyone else? 4. Frequent. Talk about this particular project. Okay. Now see, I will show you. See, first read the first point. Right? What is the first point? Land acquisition risk. Like in this particular project, what are the risks involved into the land acquisition? Land acquisition. Getting? Now give me the occurrence from this. Nil. Now you are getting why? That land belongs to him, because that is his ancestor properties. Like, so he's having the complete control on them. So there is like no issues are there. So it is like very rare. So there is no zero term is there. So I'm going to put it as a 1. Yes, exactly. Right. And what is the impact? Very less impact. Able to understand it? Now, on the basis of that, I need to select here. Right? So delays in the construction project. So the duration is already very crunch. So what is the probability of occurrence of the same? That we need to take care of. Right? Then what is the impact of the same? Because the duration is very small, if any kind of a delay is there, that is going to create a very big impact. Able to understand? So similar way we are going to put it around the occurrence and the impact. Let's just try for a second point. Just give a try for a second point. I will show you the table. Just read that point. Second, delays in construction project. And delays in construction project because of requisite approval and the clearance. Now, from whom you are going to take the clearance in this particular project? From PCMC, from Pimpri-Chinchwad Mahanagar Corporation. That municipal corporation is there, from where you're going to take the permission, right? So now rate for this from this scale. How much think the occurrence probability you are thinking? 4. Okay. Anyone else? 3. Now just try to read that element, what exactly that element says. Delay in construction project during the development phase due to the requisite approval and the clearance. Right? As this is the residential project, try to understand it. Land belong to them. There is not specify anything particular about the case that they need to go for some kind of FAR or FSI increased or paid FSI. They're going for something like that, in which the more time need to be required for the sanctioning. This project is discussing or having some concern with the environmental issues. Is there any kind of a controversial land is there? No, no. So the delay in construction project due to delay in the approvals and the clearance is not that much of big, 4 or 5. Right? It may be a 1 or 2 maximum we can put it about. Right? So the impact accordingly we can put as a 1 or 2 into that case. Now you're able to understand that is the way we are going to put it on for the occurrence and the impact of the same. Getting? Okay. Now see for the 11th. Now just take care of the 11th point. Right? 11th point. Force major risk. Right? What is the force major risk? Like natural disaster, earthquake, flood, tsunami. Now give me the reference for this. For this particular project, because it is in Pune, according to you, what is the probability of occurrence here? Right. I hope everyone understand the force major risk, right? I will show you that element here. Occurrence is 1. Others are also agree with that 1. Those who have listened the case properly, they may be able to put it on in a much more better way. 2. Okay, good enough. I hope you people are remember when we are discussing, I specifically said here, if you're able to see here, see the second last line, major risk. From the bottom, see the second last line. In the month of August 2020, 200 mm rainfall is expected in Pune. Right, as per the flooding reports, and even in 2019, there was a minor flood was there into the Pune. So the probability will be not that much of low. It will be 2 or 3. Okay, so that is the way we need to take a call. So the better we understand our project, the more we are going to read about our project, that is the better I'm going to able to do the risk analysis of the same. So now you're able to understand occurrence and the impact. Now the next question is how the calculations will be done. Now see how the table will be become. Now this is my 15 factors. For example, I have right now taken a 15 factors here. So I put all these 15 factors in the first column. Next, I'm making occurrence and the impact. Okay, so occurrence, in that I am having the response score. Response score means this score, the number we put now from 1 to 5. This is the response score I'm having. Okay, next is the calculated score. Right, now how I'm going to calculate it, that's okay. Here I think format issue is there. Let me show. I'm just sharing my screen. Okay, now see here. So now see the table bottom. The first responded score is the score which we are putting, right, from 1 to 5. Now here it's like, because in this method it's involvement of the human analysis, right? So according to you best, you're going to put the rate. Someone may be having a perception of 2, some may be having a perception of 3. That it is understood. On the basis of that only the calculation will be going to happen, right? So responded score is 2. Now see the score, right? What is that score? How I'm going to calculate the required score? That will be the responded score. How much score you have done responded, you need to multiply by 2, means you need to double it, then divided by 10. For example, see the first case, first scenario, right? So if I am putting the responded score, this is just an example calculation. So if I am going to consider the responded score is 2, right? In our project, it was a 1 because because the land belongs to them only. So if, for example, right now I'm taking the responded score is 2. Okay, so what is the formula says? How I'm going to calculate required score? Responded score multiplied by 2 divided by 10. So 2 multiplied by 2, that becomes 4, divided by 10 means 0.4. So that will become my occurrence score. Similarly, I'm going to do for impact also. So whatever the score I have put on the impact, I just need to multiply by 2 and divide it by 10. So I'm getting the values of that. Okay, so now I got the occurrence score and I got the impact score. Now the important is how I'm going to calculate the risk factor. On the basis of that, I'm going to rate them. I'm going to put it in the sequence, right? So the risk factor, how I'm going to put the risk factor? Now see, occurrence score I have shown as a P and impact score I have shown with the C. So that you put into the formula. So risk factor will be equals to occurrence score plus impact square minus occurrence score multiplied by impact score. Okay, then you can, if you want to check, you can check just one. That's 0.4 plus 0.6 minus 0.4 into 0.6. So you're going to get a value of 0.76. Okay, and the probability of occurrence will be moved from 0 to 1 only. The highest will be the 1. It will be never more than 1. Okay, got it? Any query, any concerns till now? Till now, everything is sorted? Everything is clear? Okay, thank you. Okay, so that is the way we are going to put the risk factor. And now on the basis of that, I'm going to make them into the sequence. The least score means near to the 0 is risk factor is very less. The 1 will be the highest risk factor I'm going to have into my particular project. Okay, this is the format which we generally follow into the site. Now see how we are going to do. So like for example, if I'm doing the RCC work, right, whatever the activities I'm going to have, I'm just going to write it here. Whatever the risk involved with that activity. For example, if the column work is going on the first floor, so the height, fall down, fall of the debris. So these are the things which are risk involved into that project. So I'm going to write it down the risk, right? Then what is the risk categories I'm having? Then what is the probability of occurring of the same from 1 to 5 scale? Probability of the impact, and then the risk score I'm going to calculate by putting the formula. And on the basis of that, I'm going to calculate the risk ranking for the same. Right? And then for the highest risk ranker, I'm going to put it like who's going to manage this element or how I'm going to reduce that risk. So all that thing will be written it down so that everyone is going to follow the same. So this is a very simple table which you used to follow. Okay, just risk identification, qualitative rating, and after you're done with the ranking, how you're going to taken care of the same. That's it. Right. Now, if I'm going to conclude, right, so I can say the number of risks involved during the construction of the project are large, and if not treated or mitigated properly, the probability of successful completion of the project will be very less. Means every project, it may be a small scale or maybe a large scale, having a risk involved into that. Right? And if you have not taken care of that risk appropriately, definitely, believe me, the probability of getting the successful project is very, very less. Right? So project management and the risk management is a very integral part of my project management. Right? So qualitative method of risk assessment are used in construction companies most frequently. Right? The risk management framework of construction project can be improved by combining both qualitative and quantitative method can be taken care together to increase the efficiency or to increase the risk management much more appropriately. Right? So risk management in the construction project consists in comprehensive and systematic way of identifying, analyzing, and responding to risk to achieve the project objectives. Okay, fine. So, right now I'm going to share the handout with the IREF team. So they are going to, because they are having all the emails, so they are going to put it to you. Sorted? So any doubt, any concerns? Okay. I enjoyed a lot with you all. It was a great two-way sessions. Okay, fine. Thank you everyone. Take care.